What's up guys, my name is Ace and welcome to another Q&A. So if you guys are brand new to the channel, haven't seen a Q&A from me yet, the way this works is I answer questions from the comment section of the previous Q&A. So that means if you have any questions for me, and it can be about pretty much anything, nothing's really off limits with me, leave it in the comment section of this video and this video only, and I may get to it for the next Q&A. Keep in mind I don't answer every single question, but I go through and I pick out like 20 or so questions from each Q&A. And then I go ahead and answer those. Also, if you are interested in seeing more Q&As where I've answered tons and tons of questions about myself or about whatever in the past, I will leave a link to the playlist down below, and you can go and binge watch those if you're up for it. So let's hop into the first question, and this one is from Darude. Sandstorm. I like it. If you could be inside any game, what game would it be? Ooh, I thought about this one a little bit. I'm going to go with Grand Theft Auto 5, but I get to use any cheat code from any Grand Theft Auto that ever existed. Yep, I would be basically a god, and it would be awesome. Next question comes from James Livesey? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Will you do Throwback Thursday again? So for those of you guys that don't know what Throwback Thursday is, basically it's something that I did last year where every Thursday I uploaded a live commentary of an older Call of Duty game, which you guys basically decided in the comment section, so you guys would just leave like which one you wanted me to play next. And every Thursday it would be a new live commentary on a different older Call of Duty. And I found that series to be really enjoyable, but we're not quite getting into that yet. I'm going to say this series is still at least a couple months down the road. We're still in the Black Ops 3 kind of interest cycle, I guess, like where people are still interested in the game. You're starting to see a bit of a transition away from Black Ops 3 at this point, and that just kind of happens. The game starts to get a little bit stale for a lot of people, but it's not stale for me yet, and that's why we're going to hold off on this Throwback Thursday series for at least a little while longer. But over the summer, absolutely, and probably spring this year, we will be doing Throwback Thursday, where I play older Call of Duties based on your guys' suggestion. Next question is your top 5 guns in Black Ops 3. So I want to start this off by saying that I really have a hard time picking just 5 guns of my top 5. I think the gun balance is awesome in Black Ops 3. If you guys watch my live streams, which I will link down below, of course, gotta throw that in there. If you do watch my live streams, you'll notice that I use a very, very wide variety of guns. I'm constantly switching up my guns. I almost never use the same gun twice in a single live stream. So it is really hard for me to say this, but if I were to just pick 5 guns off the top of my head right now in no particular order, I'll go with like the MR6 just because it fires quickly and it's a semi-auto and I like showing off my trigger finger every now and then. The KN-44 just because it's a nice versatile gun. The Dingo just because it's super underrated and I love the Dingo. I think it's a lot of fun to use. Let's go with the Weevil, also underrated, lots of fun to use, lots of quad feeds come from that because of the insane magazine capacity. And one more, probably the Argus, just because it's unique and a lot of fun to use. I think that set of 5 guns gives me a nice variety of weapons to play around with, so like if I had only 5 guns that I could play with for the rest of Black Ops 3, I think I'd probably go with those ones, just because of that variety. Next question comes from Jotham Abraham. What are your plans for a house or any other home? So for those of you guys that don't know, about this time last year, actually, I bought a house, which I'm still living in today. And what I do is I live in the bottom and then I rent out the top. So I separated them into 2 different suites. And things are going great with this one. So I'm actually starting to look this year at buying a second house, and not as a house that I'm going to move into, but as an investment property. And that's simply because the market is definitely going down right now, especially where I'm at. The housing market is really crashing at the moment, and that could open up a big opportunity for me. It really depends on a lot of factors. I don't even know if I'd be able to qualify for another mortgage. It's possible. It's really all up in the air. It's really difficult as a YouTuber to be able to get a mortgage or any kind of loan and stuff because you go to the bank and it's like, well, where's your last paycheck? It's like, well, I don't really have a paycheck per se, but I made this much last month and I expect to make this much next month, which is going to be a little bit less than last month, but that's just because ad revenue is a little weird. It's just really hard to pitch that. But at the same time, if I can pull it off, I would really like to buy an investment property, basically fix it up, rent it out until the housing market recovers, and then sell it once the housing market recovers. And I think that would be a great investment and a lot of fun as well, because I really enjoy like fixing up houses because I can do a little bit of everything now basically. So that's kind of the plan. We'll see how things go though. Next question is, how much are you loving your connection these days? Rushing with an LMG. Man, I remember your old connection. Much like mine, you wouldn't be caught dead rushing with an LMG. Yeah, so in the last gameplay from the last Q&A, I was rushing with an LMG. And for those of you guys that don't know and might be a little bit new around here, I used to have one of the worst connections imaginable. Basically, I lived with my parents on their ranch, which doesn't even have cable. Like, you're so far away from everything, you don't have utilities wired to the house aside from electricity. Like, we even had to haul our own water into a cistern. So our internet was actually from a little thing that went on our roof, and it connected to a radio tower about 20 kilometers away. And it was basically like a 3G connection. And that was my internet connection that I played on from Call of Duty 4 all the way up until last year when I moved to this place. Well, first I got an office and then I moved to this place. And the connection was pretty terrible. It was playable, it was just really bad. And I still did pretty good on that. I am absolutely loving having a nice, consistent, steady connection that is generally very good. It is a huge difference, but at the same time, I want to say that it doesn't make as big of a difference as some people would think. There's a lot of people that I get comments. It's actually quite funny. A lot of people come and comment on my videos now, and they didn't see how bad my connection has been growing up throughout this YouTube journey and everything, and my Call of Duty journey. And they say the only reason this guy's good in leading lobbies is because he has a good connection. And that's simply not the case. It is amazing to have a great connection. It is nice to not worry about freezing and skipping constantly. But at the same time, the connection is not what makes the player 100% anyways. It definitely helps. It definitely gets me more kills and causes fewer deaths. But at the same time, I was leading lobbies just fine without the connection. So, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of go on a little bit of a tangent there that I guess I just wanted to bring up because a lot of people are assuming that connection is literally 100% and skill is irrelevant in this game or in Call of Duty in general, and I just don't agree with that. But at the same time, it is nice having a good connection. Next question is, do you like Search and Destroy? Why or why not? I really enjoy Search and Destroy, and I actually have enjoyed playing Search and Destroy in the past, like for all the previous Call of Duties. The problem is, I don't like live streaming Search and Destroy, and most of my game time is live streaming. So most of the time that I'm playing, I'm going to be live streaming. And the simple reason is I don't like the idea of potentially like dying at the beginning of a round of Search and Destroy, and then having that round stretch out for like 3 or 4 minutes or something. And I'm just sitting there chilling with my chat, waiting to get back into the game. I don't like the idea of that. Generally, I'm quite good at Search and Destroy. I'm still pretty confident with my skills in Search and Destroy. It's just I don't like the idea of making a few hundred people that are watching me live sit there and wait and watch somebody else play until I get back into the game. So that's just the only reason I don't really play Search and Destroy that often. Next question, this one gets asked fairly often, so I thought I'd answer it again. How much do you play in a week? So like I just said with the previous question, I really only play when I live stream, or if I have something I need to record really quick, I'll go in and do that. Like if I need a gameplay really quick, I'll just hop on, literally just play like 1, maybe 2 games. There we go, that's my gameplay, and that's the end of it. Or I might record like a live commentary or something. Aside from that, every other time you see me playing, it'll be during a live stream. And I would say I live stream 3 to 4 hours a day, probably 5 to 6 days a week. So you can do the math from there. What is that, about 15 to 18 hours a week, I guess I'd say? Somewhere around there. Next question comes from Caden Hensley. How do you figure out the spots for maps exposed? So that is actually as simple as going into a private match and just searching around the map and being very, very thorough. A lot of it does follow a certain pattern. I look for places that are like common sniper perches or camping positions or just power positions in general. And I try to focus my energy trying to find spots to counter those. So it gives me a little bit of focus. I'm not just mindlessly wandering around the map and going, oh wow, I just found that spot accidentally. I'm actually like, I have that little bit of focus. But at the same time, there is a certain amount of that aimless walking around the map just seeing what I see. And I would say it takes between like 45 minutes and up to probably like an hour and a half to find all the spots for my maps exposed for each episode. So it does take quite a bit of time and effort, but I think you guys definitely appreciate the amount of time I put in trying to find those spots, and it's definitely worth it in my mind. This next question, I get asked this relatively often actually, kind of surprising. How is it that you run around in what looks like 2 times speed compared to me and can snap to the right area / target so damn quick? Note, I have a scuff and have played FPS since they started. Alright, so what really happens here, I'm not technically moving any faster than anyone else. Part of it is because I use a stock on SMGs and shotguns and stuff, and therefore it makes it look like I am moving a lot faster when I'm aiming down sight. So that's one little thing that could be part of it. Another thing is if I'm just sprinting from point A to point B, I don't just sprint from point A to point B. I'm sliding and then double tapping Y and then sliding and double tapping Y, which gets you there a little bit faster. Plus, since you're actually performing actions within that area, it just makes the pace look faster. It's kind of an optical illusion, I guess you could call it. You're not just statically running from point A to point B, you're doing something as you're going there, which makes it look like you're going faster. I'm also jumping into wall runs and then jumping off of wall runs, which gives you a slight speed boost. I'm using strafe jumps to my advantage. I basically try my best to always be doing something aside from just sprinting, depending on the playstyle that I'm going for at the time. But all of that kind of stuff combined, it does get me from point A to point B a little bit faster, but a lot of it is also just perception. It looks faster because I'm always doing something. I'm not just sprinting from point A to point B. As far as snapping between targets, this is another one I get asked about a lot, especially because I have like a mid-level sensitivity. I use 6 and 6 on Xbox and a 5 and 5 sensitivity on PS4. And people wonder why I'm able to snap from like a guy that's over here and then quickly snap to a guy that's over here when I have such a low sensitivity. And that's because I snap out of aiming down sight, then I turn my aim over, which your aim turns really, really quickly, even on a 6 sensitivity when you're not aiming down sight. And then I aim down sight again and snap onto that target. So instead of maintaining my aim down sight from one target and then slowly panning over while I'm aimed down sight, that would take a very long time. I snap out of aiming down sight, snap over, and then snap it back into aiming down sight. And that just comes with a ton of practice. You need to get a really good feel for your sensitivity. You need to know the maps. You need to know, like, even when you can't see a power position that's off to the side here, you need to know exactly where it is and essentially like how many degrees you'd have to turn in order to get to that. I mean, you don't need the actual degree numbers in your head. You just need to know that that is right there and not like way over further one way or another way. It's just knowing the maps and just a lot of practice snapping between different areas. You can actually go into a private match and practice that. Just snap from, you don't even need enemies or bots or anything. Just snap from like this doorway to that window and just snap back and forth between that. And you'll get a feel for how that works and you'll be able to improve that way. All right, moving on to the next question. This one's from Sam or Epic Whitebread. Lightning questions. All right. Number 1, should I grow my beard out or keep it short? What kind of question is that? I see you already have a beard, though, so you're good. You're good. You got the beard. If you can grow a beard, you grow it. If it's really patchy, though, maybe wait a little bit and not grow it. All right, number 2. What party mode, other than gun game, would you like to see in every future COD? I'd like to see Modern Warfare 3's version of Infection in every future COD. I don't really like too much how Ghosts handle it or Advanced Warfare handled it. I really like how it was in Modern Warfare 3. There was just something about Modern Warfare 3 Infection that was just about perfect. And number 3, what's your favorite soda / energy drink / alcohol? Okay. Soda, I don't really drink. I guess I'll go with Coke, but I very rarely drink any kind of soda, or pop as we call it here, because we're weird, you know. Energy drink, I actually really like the taste of Red Bull. I know a lot of people are like, ew, Red Bull tastes gross. I really like the taste of it, but I rarely drink it. I'm generally a pretty healthy guy, so I usually only drink Red Bull if I'm like driving somewhere and it's really late at night and I just need to stay awake. That's when I'll have Red Bull. And alcohol, I'm really on a Scotch grind right now. Really trying to learn a lot about Scotch. I really enjoy the taste of Scotch, and I'm still working on my palate and everything with Scotch, but I'm gonna go with Scotch. I'm also a beer guy, but Scotch. And number 4, why are you so beautiful? I attribute most of that to the fact that the sun never touches this beautiful face, and therefore My complexion is just perfect and pale and awesome. That's just how it is. So just avoid the sun at all costs, and you'll be just as beautiful as I will be. Next question is, can you describe your first kiss? Ooh, this is always an awkward topic. Especially this one. I think it was like grade 4 or 5, so we were still like little kids. I still view that as like a little kid. And a girl that I like had a crush on really hard. We were at her house with like a bunch of friends and stuff. And I guess she liked me too. But it was still at that point where like girls have cooties and you can't actually like kiss them and stuff because that's gross. So I was like, yeah, I was like running away from her, and she like caught me, and her friends like pinned me down and she kissed me. So yeah, very, very awkward. That was like a rape kiss. But I didn't not like it. I was just too young, so it was like, you're supposed to run away from that, right? Right? Looking back, I handled that wrong, but hey, I was young, okay? I was young. How old was I back? I don't know, like grade 4 or 5. How old is that? That's pretty young. That's too young for that. So, yeah, that's probably like my first kiss. Yep. Awkward. Alright, this next one is, if you had one wish, what would it be? And no wishing for more wishes. Can I wish that I could grant wishes? I'm not asking for more wishes for myself. I'm just wishing that I could grant wishes at will, like as many as I want. That'd be a good way to handle it. Because then I always just ask somebody like, hey, mind if you make a wish for me, and you can make a wish for yourself too, and I'll just make both come true, and there we go. Like, technically I'm not wishing for more wishes, so I just found a loophole. This next question, I get asked this one quite a bit as well. How does YouTube videos actually make you money, and what's a potential amount for income? Alright, so the way YouTube works is the main source of income, like the actual YouTube source of income, is you're paid per advertisement view. So I don't get paid for people that are using AdBlock. I get paid every time somebody views an ad that is posted on my video. That actually goes through my network and then to me. So my network takes a chunk, and then I get the rest. And that's just how that works with when you are partnered with a network. When you're not partnered with a network, then you just get your percentage. I think it's like 60% of the revenue, and YouTube takes 40 or something like that of any ad that's run on your channel that's viewed by a viewer. So it's as simple as that. You make advertising revenue based on how many ad views you get. I'll just wanted to also explain that there's other sources of income that most YouTubers have. So there's sponsorships, there's being an affiliate, like I'm an affiliate with Control Freaks. That definitely opens up revenue opportunities as well, and there's merchandise, things like that. So yeah, there's more to it than just advertising revenue, but that's how you get paid from YouTube essentially. And the potential amount of income, that's a nice thing, is there is no limit really to how much you can earn. Like, you look at some of the top guys that are making tons and tons of money, like they're getting absolutely rich off of YouTube. But just keep in mind, the chances of getting to that point are so slim. Like, even the chances of getting to the point where I'm at, I don't want to discourage people, but it's pretty slim. Like, for every 1,000 people that starts a YouTube channel, most of them are going to drop out before they go anywhere. Most of them are. It's as simple as that. You just got to do the math. It's a long, hard journey, even just to get to the point where you're making a little bit of money. So I wouldn't take what I said about all those people that do get rich off of YouTube and be like, okay, that's my motivation now, I'm going to get rich off of YouTube. It's going to be several years before you get to a point where you even start seeing a noticeable amount of money, not even getting rich. But there you go. I hope that answers your questions. This next question, getting a little bit serious about YouTube here. I don't normally watch his videos, but T Martin recently posted a video talking about clickbait and the overall status of the COD community. What's your take on YouTubers who only seem to be in it for the money and often have deceiving clickbait titles to draw views? Alright, so I don't think I ever saw that video from T Martin, but this would have been from like a month ago, as you can see there. But just my general thoughts on clickbait YouTubers. I really don't care that much. They can do what they want to do, but I do view them in a different way compared to the YouTubers that grind and work hard and do things, I guess, the right way, or the morally right way. So if you want to make clickbait titles and you want to do that, that's fine. You're going to turn a ton of people away, but you're also going to get a ton of views. And if it's working for you, go for it. It's a business. And the simple fact is they're getting the views and it's working for them. It's doing what they want it to do. Having said that, personally, I want to stay away from that because I'm here to try and build a proper brand, a brand with a good reputation and everything. I'm trying to build something like that, and I'm not trying to take the shortcuts with clickbait titles and all that. I think it really is a shortcut, and it can really look bad for you. But at the same time, like I said, if it's working, if it's doing what you want it to do, by all means, go for it. You're your own boss in that scenario, so it's totally fine by me. This next question, again, YouTube. Lots of YouTube questions in this one I found. How do you feel about other YouTubers using your ideas and hard work in their videos? So, this probably was left shortly after I had made that specialist charge time video where I did a ton of math and research and stuff based on Blame Truth's original numbers, but I did bring a lot of new stuff to the table. And then T. Martin the day after, yeah, it was literally the day after, he made basically the exact same video I made, used all my numbers, and just basically regurgitated them into his video. I probably put like 14 hours into all the testing and into my video. He put probably 20 minutes to half an hour into his video because he used all my numbers, but he gave me credit. And because he gave me credit, I'm okay with it. It is a little bit annoying to see because he's also getting probably like 4 or 5 times the views on it. It is a little annoying to see, but at the same time, he's doing really nothing wrong. He gave me credit. I'm happy he gave me credit. He linked my channel in the description. He acknowledged that it was me that did that, and Blame Truth as well. And therefore, I've got nothing against it. It's just, I will admit, in the back of my head, there's that little bit of frustration. Like, really, I just spent all these hours, and literally the day after, he makes that video based on all my numbers, and basically takes all the wind out of the sails for my video. So, like I said, it's okay. It's something you expect on YouTube. As long as they give credit, it's totally fine. This next question is very applicable to right now, I think, with Black Ops 3's life cycle. This is from the Epicest one. Love that name. Thanks for picking my question. Another one. How do you keep Black Ops 3 fresh? It's already stale in my mind. So, a lot of people are kind of hitting that wall with Black Ops 3 where it's just like, it's not as exciting as it used to be. I've already completed everything I want to complete, like Dark Matter, or they're just generally getting bored with it. And the first thing is, why are you forcing yourself to play a video game? You shouldn't be forcing yourself to play a video game. If you aren't enjoying it, go outside, go do something else, play a different game. Just stop playing it if you honestly aren't enjoying what you're doing with it. Another thing is branch out and do different things. A lot of people fall into certain patterns and habits with the way that they play. They play with the same gun every time they get a certain map, or the same like 2 or 3 guns the same time they get, like every time they get a certain map or game mode. They only play like 1 or 2 different game modes. They don't go for weird challenges or anything. They don't just mess around and try just something completely different. And I think that's why it gets stale for a lot of people. If you go out and you just challenge yourself to do something really weird that you wouldn't have done before, this keeps the game fresh. This is exciting. It's an exciting new challenge. It's like you're playing the game for the first time almost. Or if you use guns that you almost never use, even if you know you suck with them, use them. Force yourself to use them. Get better with them. And this will freshen up the game for you. But like I said, if you simply aren't enjoying yourself with the game and you've tried new things and everything and it's just not enjoyable, don't play it. You don't need to play it. Play a different game, take a break, come back to it in another couple days or something. Maybe you'll be more excited to play it then. Just saying. Next question comes from Unfallen Hero, and this is one that is actually quite common. What do you do if underskilled players are constantly bringing your team down when you play with people who get to play with you live? It's pretty simple. I do the best that I can possibly do to help win the game and encourage those teammates to play the objective, and that's it. I do the best I can do, and sometimes it's not enough. And you just have to realize if you're playing solo and you get matched with people that aren't the greatest players, you're playing a team-based game mode, and you've got to just deal with it. Do the best that you can do, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. There's really not much else to say. This next one is going to be very applicable pretty soon, I think. When is that? April? Yeah, in April, this is going to be pretty applicable. Exclusive Drift Martin A. Love the name. Hello, Ace. I was wondering how you organize fan meetups at gaming events. Do you post info on Twitter or YouTube? Alright, so this April, I will be at PAX East. This is confirmed now. I've got my my media pass all approved and everything, so I'm going to Boston in April. Oh, I gotta bring up my calendar. I think like April 19th I fly in or something like that. Oh no, April 21st I fly in? Yeah. Either way, for that weekend, I will be in Boston, and I will be doing a fan meetup at some point there. I will basically just make a video the day before, most likely, saying like when and where I will meet. I'm hoping to do it outside of the actual convention, so that way anybody that's in Boston but doesn't have PAX tickets can still come to the meetup and meet me and hang out and stuff for a little while. And also I will keep people posted on Twitter as well, so if you aren't following me on Twitter, you can do that down below. And I wanted to use this time just to take another poll, like how many of you guys are going to PAX East this year? Please let me know in the comments, or if you're just in Boston and you'd be interested in coming out for a meetup, let me know in the comments below. I'm still interested in just seeing what kind of interest, I guess, would be in a fan meetup there, if I were to do that. Alright guys, so the final question of this Q&A is from Serious Dig. Why do you think your channel has blown up so much during Black Ops 3? So for those of you guys that don't know, my channel has more than doubled in size, like, since Black Ops 3 launched, which is insane. Like, it took me 3 years to get 60,000 or 70,000 subscribers, and then it took me like 3 months to get another 70,000 subscribers. So just crazy, crazy how fast it's grown since Black Ops 3, which I'm really thankful for. And why is it that I think it blew up? I went full time with it, and I know the types of videos that bring in viewers. And I focused all of my attention on that. So all of my tip style videos, you'll notice a lot of them are very targeted for search results. So how to improve your aim. I got those ones out nice and early. How to improve your kill death ratio. I think that was out like the day that the game launched. That's something that people search for. And that video in particular has over 500,000 views now. And I designed those as gateway videos. So I made sure I planned ahead. I got right into the grind as fast as possible. I minimized the number of live commentaries that I did, because live commentaries, they're a lot of fun, they're entertaining, I really enjoy doing them, but they aren't the greatest for bringing in a new audience. So I just basically told myself, cut down on live commentaries to almost nothing at the beginning here, focus on tip videos, focus on searchable videos, and make them the best quality that you can possibly make them. And really, that's where my growth has come from. It's all down to that search results and making the best quality tip videos I can with good thumbnails, good SEO, and that's really all there is to it. It's as simple as that. It does help that I'm now at a point, or like when I started there, I'm at a point where I have my audience already, so those videos get that nice kickstart when I first upload it by all my subscribers that are viewing it, and therefore that also helps with the ranking. So I'm not saying it's something that you can do if you're just starting out with YouTube, that suddenly you're going to get 70,000 views in a month if you do what I did. Or not views, 70,000 new subscribers in a month, or in several months. It's not going to work the same because you don't have that same kickstart. So it's kind of that as well. I brought that momentum that I already had from the previous COD games and the previous years of YouTube, and I basically just went all out with it in November and December, and it really paid off. It's definitely starting to slow down now, which is what I expected. It's just the way that the Call of Duty life cycle kind of goes for YouTube, is you get that huge initial growth and then things slow down. And that's why I'm going to be transitioning more into live commentaries, because I find them to be really entertaining, a lot of fun to make, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So that's going to wrap it up for today's Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section of this video, please. If it's something that is really obvious or something that I've answered several times in the past, I might just reply with an answer. If I do, that means I'm not answering it in the next Q&A, but you'll still get your answer at least. And like I said, I'm not getting to every single question, just I'll pick through and pick out the questions that I need to pick out. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.